Lucas Harper, a 38-year-old tech entrepreneur, lived a life that many could only dream of. As CEO of Novatech Innovations, a leading company in artificial intelligence and robotics, Lucas had built his empire from scratch. His name was synonymous with innovation and cutting-edge technology, and his image frequently appeared in business magazines. Despite his success, Lucas remained an enigma. He rarely attended social events, and the world knew his life only through his professional achievements. His apartment in downtown New York was luxurious, modern, and filled with state-of-the-art gadgets. Yet it was also a fortress of solitude. From his childhood in a modest Brooklyn neighborhood, Lucas always dreamed of something greater. Growing up with two sisters and a younger brother, he learned to cope with scarcity while dreaming without limits. At 14, he built rudimentary robots from scrap metal and motors found in junkyards, a hobby that quickly became a passion. His parents, despite their hardships, encouraged his education, saving every penny to ensure he had opportunities. Lucas's dedication to his studies and technology earned him a scholarship to MIT, where his talent stood out. At MIT, Lucas excelled in complex projects, leaving professors and classmates in awe. Tech companies began to notice his talent, but a lost romance during college shaped his determination. He fell for a classmate who left him for someone wealthier. This heartbreak did not diminish his ambition. On the contrary, it made him more resilient, with a silent promise never to let anyone define his worth. After graduation, he began his career at a major tech firm, rising quickly, but feeling the need to create something of his own. Thus, Novatech Innovations was born, founded in a cramped garage with improvised equipment and long nights of work. Lucas worked relentlessly, driven by innovative ideas that quickly propelled the company to the top of the industry. Despite his success, his personal life remained empty. His only constant companion was Sophia, his dedicated housekeeper, who had been with him since Novatech's earliest days, ensuring the apartment was immaculate and his daily routine ran smoothly. Even with all of Sophia's care, the emotional void persisted. Lucas's routine was rigid, waking early, working intensely in the office, attending strategic meetings, and returning to the apartment at the end of the day. His breaks were for reading. Classic literature and science fiction filled his hours of solitude, offering an escape to imaginary worlds. He immersed himself in stories of space exploration, artificial intelligence, and dystopian societies while his real life remained organized, predictable, and isolated. This discipline kept Lucas secure but also distant from human connection. One day, while reviewing reports and tracking AI project progress, Lucas received an unexpected invitation from a prominent European investor, Javier Moreno. The proposal was promising, but had a peculiar condition. Lucas had to attend a business dinner accompanied by someone significant in his life. The requirement, simple for some, was a challenge for Lucas, whose love life was practically non-existent. He knew this meeting could open doors to new international markets and elevate Novatech to unprecedented levels. In the following days, Lucas sought a practical solution, reviewing resumes and profiles of potential companions suggested by his assistant, Mia. None seemed suitable. Some were too timid, others superficial or lacking presence. Frustrated, he decided to step out of his apartment to clear his mind. He walked to his favorite cafe, a simple place with the aroma of fresh coffee and cinnamon in the air, a refuge amid the fast pace of the city. At the cafe, Clara Rivera caught his attention. She was young, with brown hair tied in a simple bun and attentive eyes that conveyed intelligence and warmth. She moved confidently, even while handling hurried customers and small daily mishaps. Lucas noticed her calm and graceful demeanor, recognizing in her the presence and poise he sought for the dinner. After considering the situation, he made the proposal. Clara would accompany him as his guest, receiving fair compensation for her service. Clara considered the offer, weighing her responsibilities, paying bills, helping her family and balancing her jobs. After reflection, she accepted, beginning a partnership that would soon reveal unexpected layers of connection. In the following days, Lucas devoted time to preparing her. He introduced her to Novatech, the guests, and the dinner expectations. They visited boutiques to select the ideal outfit, analyzing dresses, accessories, and shoes, adjusting every detail so she would feel comfortable and confident. While Clara prepared, Lucas reviewed data and strategies for the dinner, planning each project presentation and approach for the investors. Between rehearsals and shopping, their relationship began to evolve. Conversations about work alternated with personal stories, revealing the dreams, challenges, and passions of both. Lucas shared the solitude and effort that shaped his career. Clara talked about her neighborhood life, her jobs, and her goals. The day of the dinner arrived. Lucas and Clara met at his apartment, where a stylist adjusted her hair and makeup. She looked stunning in an elegant dress that highlighted her posture and natural presence. He, always confident in corporate settings, felt a pang of anxiety. This was more than a dinner. It was a test of trust, social skill, and adaptation to a world he rarely frequented. At the exclusive restaurant, they were greeted by Javier Moreno and his fiancée, Isabella, who observed every detail with interest. The atmosphere was sophisticated, illuminated by chandeliers, with perfectly arranged tables. Lucas led the presentation for Novatech, detailing advances in robotics and artificial intelligence, while Clara complimented with insightful comments about technology and literature, showing not just presence but the ability to engage and charm the guests. Throughout the evening, Lucas realized the effectiveness of their partnership. Clara balanced his professional rigidity with natural charm and adaptability. The dinner flowed naturally. Interactions seemed spontaneous and genuine. Clara's remarks elicited laughter and constructive discussion, making the environment lighter and more conducive to negotiation. Lucas began to see the value of having someone who not only played a role, but also added authenticity to the situation. After the dinner, the relationship between Lucas and Clara deepened. Between meetings at Novatech, walks in nearby parks, and quiet cafes, they shared everyday moments that went beyond the initial agreement. Lucas showed her the office routine, data analysis, prototype development, and team oversight, while Clara learned to observe, understand, and contribute, without formal pressure but with constant presence and silent support. Small daily routines became significant moments. Lucas enjoyed watching Clara read in a nearby chair, write in her notebook, or organize travel details for future projects. Breakfasts and quick lunches were occasions for light conversation, sharing insights and reflections. The apartment, once silent and cold, began to gain life, color, and small joys previously absent. At the office, Lucas introduced Clara to project teams, demonstrating trust in her opinion and perspective. She attended strategic meetings, made occasional observations, and integrated naturally into the corporate environment. Lucas watched her every gesture, admiring the intelligence and empathy Clara exhibited. The work routine became more dynamic, less isolated, with moments of lightness between decisions and planning. Amid commitments, discreet city strolls reinforced their growing bond. Walking through Central Park, observing city life, discovering small bookstores and hidden cafes were opportunities to share dreams, childhood stories, and future plans. Each encounter reinforced the emotional connection, building a solid foundation of trust and mutual respect. Lucas also introduced Clara to innovative Novatech projects, domestic robot prototypes, AI demonstrations applied to industry, and strategic planning meetings were observed with genuine interest. Clara absorbed information, reflected on solutions, and offered insights Lucas valued, making the experience collaborative. As their time together increased, leisure moments became more frequent. Cooking together, organizing small surprises at the apartment, trying new recipes, or simply spending afternoons reading side by side, each simple activity became a ritual that brought them closer, strengthening intimacy and trust previously absent. Lucas noticed internal changes. His work productivity increased, now balanced. He appreciated pauses, conversations, and relaxed moments with Clara. The apartment, once a functional space, became a home, a refuge where ideas, laughter, and small daily adventures intertwined. Preparation for corporate events continued, but Clara now participated as a strategic partner and social presence. Dinners, presentations, and investor meetings were conducted with ease and charm, without the rigidity of a hired role. Lucas felt secure and pleased in her company, and the professional relationship gradually transformed into a genuine bond. An annual gala marked another important step. Lucas and Clara arrived together, drawing attention not only for their elegance but for the harmony between presence, posture, and naturalness. Interactions with guests flowed smoothly. Each gesture and exchanged glance reinforced a partnership, now layered with affection and deep respect. The gala became an experience of joint growth, both personal and professional. After months of intense routine, shared experiences, and companionship, their relationship was no longer merely an arrangement. Daily interactions, small attentions, mutual care, and constant support transformed it into something profound. Lucas allowed emotional space. Clara fully trusted the partnership that had once been purely professional. Simple routines, organizing the apartment, preparing meals, reviewing projects, and city strolls became the foundation of their life together. They celebrated achievements, small victories, and daily learning. Each shared moment strengthened their bond and built memories that turned everyday life into meaningful experiences. Over time, Lucas and Clara built not only a business partnership, but a shared life. Novatech thrived with new perspectives and balance. The apartment, once empty, became a home. Their evolving relationship showed that everyday moments, attention, and constant care could transform a solitary life into a story of love, trust, and personal fulfillment. In the following days, Lucas and Clara settled into a shared routine. Each morning began early. Lucas reviewed emails, reports, and AI project dashboards, while Clara prepared coffee, organized documents, and noted ideas that emerged during planning. Her presence made the mornings lighter, even amidst the intensity of work. At the office, Clara began to familiarize herself with Novatech team dynamics. She observed engineers adjusting robotic prototypes, programmers testing algorithms, and designers discussing intuitive interfaces. Her curiosity and attention to detail impressed Lucas, who noted how she absorbed information quickly, offering subtle insights that added value to meetings. Small pauses became special moments. Walking through office corridors, having coffee together, or simply commenting on project progress helped relieve decision-making pressures and deadlines. Lucas discovered that Clara's presence not only provided emotional comfort, but also enhanced the work environment, motivating and encouraging the team. On a rainy afternoon, Clara suggested visiting Novatech's main lab, where domestic robot prototypes were being tested. Lucas, initially hesitant, agreed. Watching robots interact with sensors and voice commands, they shared laughter and remarks, making the technical experience lighthearted and reinforcing their bond outside formal negotiations. Lucas began planning business trips with Clara, attending conferences, tech fairs, and international meetings became more enjoyable as she balanced professionalism and genuineness, interacting naturally with clients and partners. Their working relationship became a true partnership, and Lucas marveled at the trust he felt with her. Back at the apartment, daily life continued shaping their relationship. Clara took on small household responsibilities and organized day-to-day details, shopping lists, home maintenance, and scheduling, allowing Lucas to focus on complex projects. Even in these routine tasks, They found space for connection, laughter, discussions about books, music, and small reflections on life. On another morning, Lucas accompanied Clara to the market, admiring her skill in negotiating and interacting with vendors, a practical savvy he appreciated. On the way back, they discussed long-term plans, balancing career and personal life, and dreams they still wished to achieve, strengthening trust and mutual understanding. Afternoons were often dedicated to project development. Lucas reviewed AI models, while Clara took notes, analyzed graphs, and suggested creative approaches for technical and design challenges. Without direct dialogue, gestures, expressions, and shared glances conveyed their silent communication, turning each task into a collaborative experience. Small daily challenges, system failures, supplier delays, last-minute presentation adjustments became opportunities for Clara to show calm and problem-solving skills. Lucas admired her ability to maintain composure, balancing tension and efficiency as they resolved problems together, increasingly in sync. Weekends were devoted to leisure and learning. Walks in parks, bookstore visits, science and tech museum explorations, and historical neighborhood tours provided balance and fun. Lucas learned to slow down. Clara shared her artistic and emotional perspective, reinforcing intimacy. One day, Lucas took Clara to visit international partner offices, witnessing negotiations and global strategy discussions. Clara observed closely, absorbing logistics, finances, and corporate culture. Her intelligence and natural poise drew attention, and Lucas felt pride in her effortless handling of the corporate world. At Novatech, projects advanced quickly. Lucas oversaw industrial prototypes, while Clara followed each phase with genuine interest. She recorded ideas, suggested improvements, and participated in testing decisions, becoming an indispensable yet silent presence in the company's daily life. During rainy afternoons, Lucas and Clara spent hours reviewing data and planning presentations, sitting side by side in the office. Physical proximity, gestures of support, and silent exchange of ideas created a comfortable rhythm, reinforcing both professional and emotional partnership. At night, the apartment nurtured small traditions, cooking together, choosing music while preparing meals, arranging books, or simply sitting on the balcony watching the city became moments turning routine into rituals of closeness and mutual care. During a business trip to Boston, Lucas watched Clara interact with industry leaders. She demonstrated insight, adaptability, and natural charm, reinforcing Lucas's perception that their partnership had surpassed the initial arrangement. Each gesture of trust and collaboration strengthened their emotional connection. Back in New York, daily routines resumed with a new rhythm. Small surprises, preparing Lucas's favorite coffee, organizing documents efficiently, or planning cultural activities strengthened the feeling of home and companionship. Each daily detail became a silent gesture of affection. In high-level strategic meetings, Lucas felt more confident with Clara by his side. She took precise notes, suggested alternatives, and noticed nuances he might have missed. Her presence balanced tension and turned formal environments into spaces of collaboration and creativity. Exercise routines also became shared practices. Morning runs, park walks, and light stretching provided moments of physical and mental well-being. Lucas valued these pauses, which strengthened their connection and provided energy to face intense workdays. Weekends were reserved for lighter, cultural activities. Visits to bookstores, literary cafes, art exhibitions, and museums combined learning and leisure. Clara often suggested readings or films, encouraging Lucas to explore interests beyond work, while he shared his enthusiasm for technology and scientific discoveries. Each night ended with moments of reflection. Sitting on the balcony, looking at the illuminated city, they shared ideas, dreams, and future plans. Lucas realized that life, once rigid and isolated, was now full of meaning and shared experiences. His bond with Clara had transformed not only his daily routine, but also his vision of work-life balance and love. As months passed, Lucas and Clara consolidated their routine. Each day blended meetings, project reviews, and strategic tasks at Novatech with pauses to walk through the building, observe prototypes in testing, or simply enjoy shared silence. Corporate life remained intense, but Clara's presence softened the pressure, creating an almost therapeutic balance. Some mornings, Lucas arrived early at the office to find Clara organizing reports or reviewing marketing plans. They shared quick coffees, and silently observing each other's work brought understanding and mutual admiration. Small gestures, handing a pen, adjusting a document, highlighting a relevant figure, transformed routine into subtle acts of care. Afternoons were dedicated to tests and experiments. Lucas supervised industrial and domestic robots, checking safety and efficiency protocols. Clara recorded results, suggested adjustments and refinements, always with an eye on functionality and impact. The environment was serious, but exchanged glances revealed complicity, patience, and trust. Weekends became moments of exploration and shared learning. They visited science museums, interactive art exhibits, tech fairs, and partner labs. Each visit reinforced intellectual and emotional partnership. Lucas admired Clara's enthusiasm and acuity. She appreciated his passion for innovation and vision of the future. International trips were now undertaken together. Conferences in London, Paris, and Berlin exposed Clara to the global corporate world, while Lucas learned to value her presence in negotiations and meetings. Her adaptability and understanding of cultural nuances impressed investors and partners, strengthening not only Lucas's image but also confidence in his personal judgment. At Novatech, small daily challenges, prototype failures, supplier delays, budget adjustments were faced as a silent team. Without unnecessary words, their coordinated actions solved problems and maintained productivity, creating an efficient rhythm admired by all around. At home, quiet evenings nurtured domestic life. Cooking dinners, listening to music, organizing the library, and planning weeks ahead were intimate moments. Clara transformed Lucas's apartment into a home, vibrant, welcoming, full of shared memories and spontaneous laughter. Leisure included physical activities and outdoor time. Morning runs, stretches in the park, and night walks became routine. Lucas discovered these pauses increased focus and creativity at work. Clara felt connected and balanced, sharing not only professional life but also the couple's physical and mental well-being. Over time, Lucas involved Clara in high-level strategic decisions. She observed investor meetings, participated in brainstorms, and contributed detailed analyses. Her insight, aesthetic sense, and synthesis ability complemented Lucas's skills, strengthening Novatech's performance and reinforcing professional partnership. Their cultural and social life also expanded. Theater visits, classical music concerts, readings of renowned authors, and literary cafes added emotional and intellectual dimensions. Lucas appreciated Clara's enthusiasm. She admired his curiosity, showing their connection went beyond practical or professional interests. On some nights, they reviewed important presentations for investors. Lucas analyzed data. Clara adjusted graphs and impact notes. Each gesture was coordinated, silent, efficient, but filled with support and trust. Walking side by side, sharing goals and objectives, turned each challenge into an opportunity for joint growth. On a rainy afternoon, they reorganized the apartment library. Each book and decorative item was carefully discussed and arranged. While Lucas selected technical books, Clara added classic literature and contemporary fiction. The apartment, once functional and cold, became a reflection of their shared interests, experiences, and stories. Lucas began noticing internal changes. His vision of success was no longer just about technology or profits. It was deeply tied to quality of life with Clara. The balance between work, leisure, learning, and love became central, transforming his concept of happiness. Clara, in turn, grew in confidence and independence. She actively participated in Novatech projects, but also dedicated time to writing and personal endeavors. Lucas supported and encouraged her growth, realizing that his own productivity and motivation increased with her presence. Small traditions emerged, cooking together on Fridays, Sunday sunset walks, visiting themed exhibitions, and shared evening readings. Each daily gesture became a ritual of intimacy and affection, creating a routine that balanced professional intensity and rich emotional life. Over time, their complicity strengthened. Lucas and Clara developed a silent language. Gestures, glances, and small signals conveyed understanding and support without words. Each challenge overcome, each shared victory reinforced a sense of true partnership, making them inseparable. At a major corporate event, Clara impressed by presenting strategic insights with clarity and confidence. Lucas, by her side, felt pride and gratitude. Her presence not only reinforced his image, but transformed work into a shared, collaborative, and meaningful experience. Daily routines continued with meetings, project development, and detailed reviews. But each task, even the simplest, carried emotional significance. Preparing reports, organizing presentations, and supervising prototypes became shared experiences, strengthening their bond and trust. Trips to tech fairs and international meetings deepened the connection. Lucas observed Clara interacting with industry leaders, picking up cultural nuances, and contributing relevant ideas. Each trip reinforced the perception that she was more than a partner. She was an extension of his vision and energy. Over time, personal moments became as valuable as professional ones. Dinners, coffee, walks, and reading nights enriched Lucas's life. Clara introduced lightness, humor, and perspective, making every day more meaningful and enjoyable. The partnership culminated in long-term strategic decisions, business expansion, new product development, and plans to strengthen company culture. Each choice was discussed, weighed, and supported, creating a unique collaboration model where professional success combined with personal happiness. Home life became increasingly integrated, transforming the apartment into a true home. Simple moments, cooking, organizing, reading together, reinforced belonging and mutual care. Routine, once rigid, was now marked by affection and balance, bringing fulfillment to everyday life. At the end of a long workday, Lucas and Clara sat on the balcony, observing the illuminated city. Reflections on the future, goals, dreams, and shared achievements filled the silence. The love and partnership, built without rush, were now the foundation of a full and harmonious life. Lucas's transformation was evident. Once isolated and focused solely on success, he now valued connections, balance, and simple moments. Clara had become his support, inspiration, and motivator, showing that happiness and success can coexist deeply and enduringly. Together, Lucas and Clara represented a new form of partnership. Balance between love, work, and personal growth. Their story became an example of how trust, complicity, and mutual dedication can transform lives, strengthen careers, and create unforgettable experiences. If you were inspired by this story of growth, love, and partnership, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more moving stories showing how life can change when we find the right person by our side. Follow us to discover new journeys of success and connections that transform the everyday into something extraordinary.